It's good, right?
No. It's going sideways again.
What do you mean it's going sideways? How did it go sideways? What you hit?
No, I think it's delayed.
Yeah, that's delayed because it was a total. So what about the new one?
It's still playing. Still playing.
Yo, slide that menorah over so I can see the time. What?
It's gonna start the same way again?
It's all wait on what you was doing instead of going through it.
Prince.
It's good? Okay.
Hold on.
Whenever you're ready, bro.
Hold on.
Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
Alright.
Shalom. Welcome to another Sabbath. We're going to open the Sabbath with the prayers. We finished the prayers, now we're going to go into the scriptures. We're at the House of David at 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn, between Chauncey and Bainbridge Streets. I'm Micah Oliver, which is Hebrew for Michael, and my reader is...
Kvanasel Labra'ain.
Okay, now, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to show you basically how life works. We're going to start with what they call the war in heaven. In other words, we're going to show you how the spirit world affects our world. This is something you haven't learned in church. Okay, we're going to start with the war in heaven. Now, the reason why you want to start that's the foundation for everything. When you see all the madness going on, those are spirits. The spirits get into people and make people do crazy things. Then you ask yourself, why is this happening? It's simple. Israel's a chosen people. We're the Israelites. We were brought down as a nation of people. All nations have power over us. That was part of the punishment, huh? That was part of the punishment. Now, when you go outside and your day starts and you wonder why the pressure's coming down on you, that's part of the curse. You have to realize, as a nation of people, we're cursed. Everything we do, we're cursed. All of us. I don't care if you're getting by with food stamps, grants, whatever, or you could be a multi-millionaire. If you're an Israelite, you're going to catch natural born hell. It just comes on different levels.
That's right.
And you have to understand why life is against you. Because the Most High put it against you because we broke the laws of the Most High. Now we're going to go into that and I'm going to try and show you how life works. Okay, first thing we're going to do is start with the war in heaven. Give me Job 2:2. I got this glove on because it helps me turn the pages faster.
Read out of Job, chapter 2, verse 2.
Read it slow.
And the other one said unto Satan.
Stop. When he says other one, that means Lord. Because some of you say, oh, no, they done got their own thing. No, that's Hebrew for Lord. Because, see, when you teach, you're supposed to teach not like you're teaching the people in the room. All of you basically are Israel, and you all have to be taught. Right now, you got no choice. You look at CNN, MSNBC, and all them stations, you see everything caving in. Spiritually, you know this ship is sinking. So now is the time to do what? Wake up. Find out who you are, correct your mistake, and ask for repentance. And I'm going to give you, at the end, give you some scriptures you can go to for repentance. Because now is the time. If ever there was a time, now is the time to hit this Bible.
That's right.
Okay, I'm sorry. Read that again.
Read out of Job, chapter 2, verse 2. And the other one said unto Satan, For whence comest thou? And Satan answered the other one and said,
Go to the first verse. Go to the first verse. Because see, people, you gotta
Set it up.
You what? Yeah, you gotta set this thing up because see, we all went to church. All black people and Spanish people at some point was in church. I don't care who you are.
That's right.
You was in church. And you have to be retaught. Go ahead, start from the first verse.
Read out of John chapter 2.
Job.
Sorry. Read out of Job. Job chapter 2, verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the other one.
Now, when it says sons of, and there it says sons of God, right? It's talking about angels. This conversation is taking place in where? The spirit world. Go ahead.
And Satan came also among them.
Now, when you look at it, they presented themselves before the Most High. Other words, everything is in order. They didn't just walk up and then there's the Most High over there and they went over there, this, that, and the other. No, with the Most High, everything is in order. In His realm, everything is in order.
Like a spiritual roll call.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And Satan came also among them to present himself before the Most High.
Right. Now, when Satan came on the scene, didn't everybody panic? Oh, man, look, there's Satan. No. Everything has a place with the Most High. Everything. This life that you live is like a movie. Give me an example. Everybody's seen Scarface. Now, everybody wants to be Tony Montana. But remember Angel Hernandez? Somebody got to play Angel Hernandez. That's the guy that got cut up in the bathroom with the chainsaw. Okay, so you got the good guys, you got the bad guys, the villains, everything. Who's Jacob? Jacob is the good guy. He just goes through ups and downs. Now, who's the villain? Esau. That's what you got to understand. All this was predestined.
That's right.
It's like a movie. Your life is like a movie. And the Most High is the what? The producer, the writer, the director, everything. You name it, that's Him. Now, go ahead.
Verse 2. And the Most High said unto Satan, from whence comest thou?
Right. He didn't get upset with Satan. Why? Satan got a job to do. When you sin, that's who you got to deal with, Satan. If you don't sin, he's not a problem to you. He knows it and you know it. That's the way the Most High set it up. It's like when you crossing the street and it says don't walk. And you go out there and get run over by a car and wind up crippled the rest of your life. Who told you to ignore that sign? That's how Satan is. You mess up, he's right there on you. That's his job. Go ahead.
And Satan answered the Most High and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
Stop. Now, when you go to explain the war in heaven, you have to stop at this verse. Why? Let's say, okay, go to the next verse, and I'm going to show you why you have to.
Verse 3.
Stop. Because this Bible is in a puzzle. It's not like a novel. Some people that tell you, oh, I read the Bible from cover to cover. This ain't that type of book. You read here, it stops, then you got to go to another chapter to pick it up. That's what it's written that way. Nobody can just read the Bible straight through and have an understanding.
That's right. That's right.
Because I don't heard lots of people, I don't read the whole Bible. Yeah, okay, but you stuck on John 3:16. What did you learn? Nothing. But first of all, the Most High got to give you the spirit to understand this book.
Right.
Even criminals understand this Bible is spiritual. By the way, they're spiritual too. Criminals, they're in league with Satan. When you come among them and you're not one of them, they pick up on you. What are they, geniuses? No, this is a spiritual game. You got to understand what you into. So when you get up out of bed and walk in, the minute you leave your place and you walking among the people, it's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle. Now, read the third verse and I'm going to show you why you got to stop at the second verse. Go ahead.
Job chapter 2, verse 3. And the Most High said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth the Most High, and escheweth evil.
Now, when you read the end of the second verse, it tells you Satan is walking up and down in the earth, devouring men. Why is he devouring men? Because they sin. It's like with the mob. If you borrow $10,000 and you don't pay, what you think they're gonna do? Write it off? They're gonna visit you. They're gonna break your legs. They're gonna kill someone in your family. That's Satan's job. Once you mess up, he had the green light to get you. It just goes by different degrees on what laws you break.
That's right.
That's what you gotta understand. When you go out there and you see, oh, a man took out a knife and stabbed his pregnant girlfriend, and they say, oh, what's this world coming to? That's evil. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's two people involved here. The woman, what did she do to get stabbed up? And the man, what did he do to wind up with that woman to stab her up? All this is spiritual warfare.
That's right.
Okay? Wicked men are giving wicked women and vice versa. When you see people with the worst type of children, it's not just the children, it's the parents, because all of them are together. The Most High is the ultimate bookkeeper. You mess up, he let you go for so far, then he get you down the road. I'll get them later when she has some kids. Wait and see what I give them. That's how the Most High is. You can't play with the Most High.
That's right.
It's his way, and you don't even have the option of the highway. Because if you die, guess what? Waiting for you in the spirit world. Where you going? You can't do nothing but obey the Most High. Now, read the second verse again.
Now Job chapter 2, verse 2. And the Most High said unto Satan, For whence cometh thou? And Satan answered the Most High and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
Right, that's his job. His job is to police the earth. Now you sin, it comes to him, he gets you. Then he gets that one. Then he gets that one, and then he gets that one. Israel was going buck wild with the sin. Give me 1 Peter 5 and 8. Because when you read this, you got to understand what you're reading.
That's one of my books.
Huh?
That's one of my books.
Go ahead.
Read now to 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8.
Let's go.
Be sober and vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion.
Stop. Why does it say adversary? Because you're breaking the laws. Once you break the laws, you're in his jurisdiction. And the punishment is up to the Most High. I'm talking about the level of punishment. Go ahead.
And your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Right. Now, when it says devour, it's not like he just picked people at random. No. He's picking the people that sin. When you sin, you got his undivided attention, and he gonna get you. That's what it's telling you. Okay, now, that was the end of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could I read 28? See Ecclesiastes 28?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, reading out the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39, verse 28,
Tell me it's in the Apocrypha.
in the Apocrypha. There be spirits that be created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes in the time of their destruction. They pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction.
So when you see people that are really wild and out of control, those are spirits. Now, the reason why we're going over this part talks about the war in heaven. It's going to explain where all these spirits come from. Okay. Revelations 12, start at the 7th verse.
Read out the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 7. And there was a war in heaven,
Slow.
and there was a war in heaven.
Stop. When it says war in heaven, people get that part wrong. I had a guy in here, he was telling me, I can't see war in heaven and confusion. There's no confusion in the Most High's world. The Most High basically told the angels, escort them out of here. That's all that was. Go
That's
ahead.
right.
Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
Right.
And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not.
Right. So in other words, Michael was told, escort these people out of here. Get them out of here. He came with his angels, and he got Satan and his angels, and they tossed them out. Tossed them out of where? Heaven. The spiritual world. Go ahead.
And the great dragon was cast out. Oh, no, I'm sorry. And prevailed not, verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was there place found any more in heaven.
Right, because when you read Job, where were they? They was up in heaven. And what did Satan do? He did something real silly. He came between the Most High and his people. Now, even though we did sin and we were worthy of death, because the crimes we were guilty of, the punishment was death, he wasn't going to kill his people. Okay? So when Satan came, look, they did this, they did that. What you going to do? The Most High, what did he do? He tore Satan out. Nobody got a free pass. But the fact is, you can't come between the Most High and Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Now, what you got to understand, they went from the spiritual world to down here where we are on earth.
That's right.
Now, let's check this out. Satan has what? Angels. What are angels? Somebody get me Psalms 104 and 4.
Want to get it?
No. What I want you to do?
There you straight for it.
Yeah.
All right,
Who got it?
Sam.
Psalms 104 and 4.
Right.
Psalms 104,
Loud, Sam.
verse 4. Who maketh his angel spirits, his ministers a flaming fire?
Now, angels are spirits.
That's right.
Now, now you got to go deeper. Somebody with a loud voice, give me the angels are on the left hand and on the right hand of the Most High. You have to understand what you're dealing with. Somebody give me Psalms 110 and 1, and somebody else get me Matthews 25 and 41. Who got what?
Psalms 110 and 1. The Lord said unto my Lord,
Right. Lord capital, Yahweh, or the one you call God, is talking to Christ. Go ahead.
sit thou at my right hand, until I make thine enemies thy footstool.
Right, so the Most High, the one you call God, is telling Christ, sit this out. I got this. All this destruction you see, who's doing it? The Most High, Yahweh. He's doing it. Why? He's the only one that could do it because he's the one that created this. Everything is in order. Christ knows his place, and the Most High knows his place. Father, Son. Now, that's on the right hand. Now, let's get the left hand. Who got Matthews 25, 41?
All right, go ahead, Sam.
25 and 20.
Yeah, lift your voice up.
Matthew 25, verse 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels.
Right. So it's telling you there on the left side, the Most High deals with what? Judgment, vengeance. How do you know? Christ, where's Christ? Christ did everything in what he's supposed to do. I could tell you in Matthew 17 and 5, this is my son in whom I am well pleased. Christ is on the right hand. Okay, and everybody cursed, they're going to be on the left hand. So when the Most High send angels from the left side against you, you finished. And what are angels? Spirits. For you to get a deep understanding, when you get get me Holap and get me Genesis chapter 8 verse 1 to show you how angels work. Angels work in everything you see.
Con.
Everything you see.
Read out of Genesis chapter 8, verse 1. And the Most High remembered Noah and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And the Most High made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. That's verse 1.
Now keep reading.
Verse 2. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped.
Stop. Now, what did you just read? We were reading about the flood. Now it says the windows of what?
The windows of heaven.
Was shut, which means what? It stopped raining. And how does it just stop raining? The angels. Who opens that window? Who set up the window? The Most High. Who can open and close that window? The angel, if the Most High allows that.
Con.
Because remember, when you check out this, it never rained at that point.
Con.
When you read in Genesis, how did everything get watered? At night, it's called dew.
Dew.
Like when you go down south or places like that in the morning time, you running around, and it said, "I'm running that grass." Why? You gonna fall because it's wet.
Slippery.
But it didn't rain. Where'd the water come from? There's a mist that comes up, and it waters everything. Because see, when you read about Noah's Ark, people overlook. Wait a second. It rained and it didn't stop. First of all, it never rained at that point. That was a shock. And even more, it kept raining. Now, some people say, oh, that's far-fetched. No, it's not. Watch cable news. When you look at Pakistan and see rivers of water coming down the street, in Dubai, that's supposed to be the desert. You got rivers.
Arizona, Nevada.
Right. And it wasn't raining no 40 days now. And you see all that water. Why? That's where it comes from. Everything is spiritual. You living in a spiritual world and don't understand what you're looking at.
That's right.
It's right there, but you don't see it. Why? Because you wasn't taught. You people sit in church. Let's take, I don't want to get too sidetracked because you know me. When you go to church is set up where everybody get dressed up and bring their family and they sit down and they wave. Oh, hi, look, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so. That's not what this Bible is about. This Bible is telling you why everything is going to happen the way it's happening. From the 50s and the 60s, everything was cool. But we at the end of this thing now. You ain't seen turmoil. When you sit in front of cable news, like me, I do a lot of that. MSNBC, BBC, and CNN. When you watch all hell that's breaking loose on this planet, the best thing is on your computer, you get the news that don't make CBS and all them other stations. And you see how things really are. They're starving to get in Ethiopia. Why is that? That's judgment. Tells you in Genesis 15. First we can go through 400 years of slavery. Then what? Then there's the judgment on the other nations. That's what we're living through now. We're looking at judgment. Is there going to be nuclear missiles flying? Yeah. Because you read in Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, when Israel gets delivered, or the portion of Israel that's scheduled to get delivered, it's going to be in the middle of a war. We're going to scarcely make it out.
That's right.
Those that are picked for it, I'm not going to say we like I got reservations, because everything is about what? Hoping and praying that you're part of that group. All this takes place, and the more you understand the scriptures, the more you can preserve your sanity. Like I said, wisdom and knowledge is the stability of that time. You're going to see people panicking out here. They panicking now.
That's right.
Because everything is at the end. It's like if it was a movie, you hear that music, That's what you should be hearing now, because it's gonna get really chaotic out here. And you better have these scriptures under your belt.
Okay, precept?
Yeah.
Read the precept pertaining to the nuclear missiles that you're talking about. This is Judges chapter 5, verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse to righteous acts of the Most High, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Most High go down to the gates.
Now, when it says the land of drawing waters, that's talking about America.
Okay.
When you go through slavery. Because see, number one, you got to understand what these scriptures are saying. It's written in a spiritual slang. Everything is aimed at what? The children of Israel.
That's right.
Everything. Now, I don't want to get sidetracked. Where were we in Revelations?
I'm just finished now.
Go ahead.
Read now to Revelations chapter 12, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach.
Okay, now, when it said the kingdom of, it says of God and of Christ, it's showing you where. These are the characters in this story that the Most High wrote, called life. Where does this take place? In the spirit world. Where Satan, he was cast out of there, he's down on earth. Go ahead.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
Now, the accuser is who? Satan. Who was Satan the accuser? The children of Israel. Now, people often wonder, so what about the other nations? The Most High don't care about the other nations.
Right.
Somebody give me Amos 3:1. Because you can write this down, the other ones, because there's so many of them. And you can write down, those of you who have apocryphas, it's a 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. First Ezra.
15. Second Ezra?
Okay, 2nd Ezra.
6, like 15.
Chapter 6, starting from verse 54 to 59.
Right. Come.
Go ahead,
Amos
give me Amos 3:1.
Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Right. Now, here's what you got to understand. All the other nations mean nothing to the Most High. Why? Simple. The Most High gave us rules and regulations. How to worship Him, how to approach Him, how to ask for things from Him. The other nations, He let them have their own gods. Number one, they know the other nations, they know that they mean nothing to the Most High. That's why He gave them gods to play with. He gonna deal with them down the road. But the fact of the matter is, He only cares about Israel. They don't teach you that in church. They got
That's
you
right.
thinking that everybody's on the same level. Hi, think for a second. It tells you in the Constitution all men are created equal. But that was written during slavery. You're only putting the pieces together. The ones that the Most High don't care about, they running the show right now. So they got you thinking everybody's equal. Everybody's not equal. Israel is the top nation on the planet. They were supposed to be the light to the world. This is just a little a pit stop we going through. After the punishment, He's going to clean us up and raise us up. And we're going to be the people we was meant to be.
That's
But we
right.
had to go through this little pit stop. Look, if you're going to live forever, what's a couple of 100 years? And you're going to keep coming back, what? Forever and be on top. For how long? Forever.
Ever?
Ever.
I will love you.
This is just a pit stop. But understand the pit stop that you in. Don't play with it. This is deadly serious. Okay, where were you?
Verse, still in verse 7.
Go ahead.
All right, let me read it again. Read now Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren
Which is Satan. Go ahead.
is cast down, which accuses them before our power day and night.
Now, why is it says day and night? Because Israel was sinning day and night. Satan's job was to do what? Satan's job is to point the finger. This person is doing this person is doing that. Let me turn this off. I thought this was off. That's Satan's job. If you mess up, he's on top of you, day and night. And the main thing our people was guilty of was what? Idolatry. That's the main thing that got under the Most High skin.
Mike.
Yeah,
And Satan's a spirit. The spirits never sleep.
right. That's why I said, brother, to read Psalm 104 and 4. Angels are spirits. And Satan is the top one. So you know he's supposed to watch them. So you know he gonna catch you. Any little thing you do, you figure you tiptoeing over here, Satan watching you. He's an angel. An angel of light. Go ahead. Well,
Verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
now, this is covering a lot of history. Who's they? Israel. Israel overcame what? The sins that was worthy of death. By who? Christ. Somebody get me Matthew's, I think it's 5:17.
Get it, Mike.
Think, Matthew 5:17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
Right. Christ didn't come to change the laws. Oh, this law was done away with. Oh, law was done away with. With the Most High set up, there's no loopholes. He said, do this, you do this. He says, you do that, or you die.
That's right.
And then when you die, you're going to come back, and guess what's waiting on you? You're going to do this, or you're going to do that. Life is, when you understand these scriptures, life is so simple.
Con.
Go ahead.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. 18 verse.
Oh, no, read that part again.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Now, when it says fulfill, who's speaking here? Christ. Because in your Bibles, it should be in red letters. Anything in red letters, Christ is speaking. Okay? He says, I'm going to do what? Fulfill. And what was he fulfilling? The law of sacrifice. He was the lamb. When you sacrifice, when you sin, you have to have what?
An offering.
An offering, and it has to be without blemish. That means no marks, no bruises, none of that. And Christ was what? Without blemish. Why? He didn't sin. Okay. No. Oh, you finished that, right? Okay.
Reading out of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 11. And they overcame him by the Lamb, by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony.
Right, read that again. I got distracted.
Okay. Reading out of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death.
Now, what is this talking about? They love not their lives. Who's they? I keep hearing a sound. Where's that coming from?
They got to speak, that's right, by the words of it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's distraction. This is Sabbath, and you got Negroes with the music. Now, when it says, read that again.
Reading out of Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Right, they is talking about Israel overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. The Lamb is who? Christ. Go ahead.
And by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death.
This is talking about the martyrs, the ones that gave their life. Now let's get it. Get sidetracked a little. Get me Revelations chapter 6. We're gonna read verses 9 and 11. Somebody get that. Because when you teach, it's like you gotta make the picture super clear. You got the scriptures, but the precepts clarify things. That's why you gotta really understand and study this Bible. Go ahead. Who got it?
Michael?
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth...
Slow, Mike, slow.
Okay. And when he had opened the fifth seal,
Louder.
I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High.
Now, that's some of the people that stood up. I'm not going to do anything against this Bible. You can do whatever you want to me. That's basically literally what they said. You can go to 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter, read about the woman with the 7 sons. They tortured all her, excuse me, they tortured all her sons because they wouldn't do what? Eat swine. Okay?
Non-negotiable too. No negotiation.
They stood up for the truth. Okay? Now, when you read about the in the first Maccabees, when you read it in the first Maccabees, those babies that was hung by the neck, and the women that was killed because they didn't want the children circumcised. And they said, we want you to go against the Lord. And said, no, we're not doing that. Those are the martyrs for the truth. That's what this is, what you're reading about. Okay, go back.
I'm here.
Go ahead.
Reading out of Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Right. Which is showing you Satan was cast out of heaven to the earth. And he was given a short time. What? Because he's going to be destroyed. It's going to be a final battle between what? This thing is between good and evil. Stop thinking, oh, this is between us and Esau. No. This is between good and evil. This is a spiritual battle. This is far beyond man's comprehension. Esau is just a tool that the Most High uses to punish us. He uses man to punish man. You actually want the Most High himself to deal with you? No, you don't. It's better that man deals with you than the Most High himself deals with you.
That's right.
Trust me, you getting off easy. Even all the bad things we went through, you do not want to deal with the Most High directly. Head up. Okay,
I got one.
go ahead.
Reading out of Hebrews chapter 10, verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. That's it.
Okay.
That's what I'm putting
Okay, now,
fluff on yours.
where were we?
I'm still in 12.
Go ahead, read.
No, I'm sorry. Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman, which brought forth the man-child.
Right, now, obviously the woman is who? Israel. And how do you know it? Because brought forth who? The man-child, that's Christ.
Right.
Okay? Now, all Christ came to save the whole world. He came to what? Get the sins off of Israel. Now, everybody else, they might be saved way down the road. But right now, it's the Most High and Israel, his chosen. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness.
Now, this covers different time periods. Okay, let me get one of them. Give me Matthews 2, 12 and 13. Because another one deals with right after the 7 weeks, talking about the tribulation. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm gonna deal with this one,
Right.
Matthews 2.
Right. Read out of Matthew chapter 2, verse 12. And being warned of the Most High in a dream, that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the other one appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt.
Right. That's one example. Okay, the first part that you read, those are talking about the wise men that Herod sent to find out where this holy child is so I can go and pray to him. He wanted to kill him.
Good.
Okay, he wanted to kill him. But I want the part where the angel told Joseph to take Mary and the child and flee.
That's what this one was.
Yeah. Okay, go back to Revelation.
Okay. Verse 14, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she may fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
That's talking about lies. Okay? They're not the chosen people. They're not this. They're not that. When we try and explain we're the chosen people, they're going to say, no, that's some Jewish people over there.
That's
No,
right.
It's not talking about them. This is Sabbath. Everyone's supposed to be here ready to learn and hands folded and reading that Bible. Where's our people? They out there playing music. You can hear it now. That's how you know we the people.
Right.
The creator of heaven and earth is going to give us a kingdom that's going to last forever. All we got to do is straighten up and fly right. These Negroes playing music and smoking herb on the Sabbath.
That's right.
And just as happy as they can be. That's how you know we the chosen people.
You got their little checks.
Why you think Satan was pulling his hair out? Look at them. They doing this. They doing that. And before he can finish the end, he got tossed out of heaven. He said, well, ain't that my job? You can't come between the Most High and the love he has for Israel. You can't even explain that. The law says you're supposed to die for this, that, and the other. We did this, that, and the other, and then some. And he gave us what? Yahweh shot.
What say you say? What say you say? And he's doing his job, right?
Yeah,
He is the accuser.
he's doing his job and got tossed out. Basically,
All praises.
because the love that the Most High has for Israel, you can't measure that. Think about it. How long does man live on an average? What? Three score and ten. Right. We gave the creator of everything and his son gray hair. And we gonna get a kingdom out of this. What does that tell you? As hard-headed as we are, how are we gonna be once we get in order? With that same hard head. We gonna be some bad people.
All praises.
But we gotta get through this. We ain't home free yet. Everybody, yeah, we gonna get the kingdom. We gonna get the kingdom. He got a joint in his hand. we gonna go through a lot of stuff before we even get out of here.
That's right.
Okay, but I'm reading you the foundation for when you want to find out how things work on a spiritual level. Okay, where were you?
Stop. Verse 15.
Read.
Verse 15, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Right. The flood is talking about lies. You trying to explain to people we're the chosen people. This, that, and the other. Nah, I don't want to hear that. I'm Baptist. The Baptist church was started around 1820 in Holland. Now, how you related to that? And majority of black people are Baptists. All these religions are man-made. And it came after the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is a bunch of BS because it was formulated where? When you read Maccabees, the first chapter. Verses 46 to 64. That's where the Catholic Church got their foundation. All that stuff is made up. Oh, you supposed to have confessions. Priests can't get rid of your sins. And majority of priests, they're gay. There's laws against that. That's Matthew. That's Deuteronomy 23:1.
Leviticus.
And Leviticus, all that. They got the nuns. The nuns wear the wedding rings. Oh, we married to Jesus. Where's that at in the Bible?
And the word nun means daughter of Satan. That's what the word nun means. Okay, just
Women didn't have power as far as the priesthood.
Listen,
Everything in the Catholic Church is based on what? Nonsense. But they had power. And they got the numbers. Okay? All this religion, all that stuff, that started to bring confusion. And who's in charge of that? Satan.
Satan.
Now, I don't want to do a spoiler alert. I'm going to show you how everything works under Satan. Go ahead.
reading out of Revelation chapter 12, verse 16. And the earth helped the woman. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood.
Now, people, what is that talking about? The earth helped the woman. It's called archaeology. Okay, when you read about the slaves during the Egyptian time period, you're gonna see what so-called black people doing what? Being slaves over who? So-called black people. So how them Europeans fit into the equation? They don't. When you watch that movie, it's a Ten Commandments.
No.
How Charlton Heston got to be Moses? It tells you Moses passed for an Egyptian. And where you got the white boy at? It don't work like that. When Moses met the woman that was going to be his wife, when you read the story, she had the cattle, and they were supposed to water the cattle. And these people chased them away because they didn't want to wait. So Moses had a fight with them and let her water the cattle, and she got home a couple of days early because talking about the journey. And the father asked, why are you home so early? And he said, this Egyptian, it tells you in the Bible, it says, this Egyptian helped us. Egyptians were dark. So how was he white? Y'all don't understand that? They can't tell you that in church. Why? Because church is in league with the government. And I'm going to show you all this.
In the 18th dynasty of Egypt, Jacques Cousteau, when he went down in the Red Sea, they found wheels and chariots
Yeah.
from the 18th dynasty of Egypt. Now, when the Israelites were in captivity, they were ruled by the 18th dynasty of Egypt. So it's showing you that those Egyptians that were drowned in the Red Sea, their chariots are still at the bottom of the Red Sea.
Like, because people say that story don't make sense. And how they find the chariots where it was supposed to be. Back in the days, I did a show dealing with the Ark of the Covenant. I used clips from a movie In Search of Noah's Ark. And they found Noah's Ark where? On top of Mount Ararat, exactly what the Bible tells you. See, here's the thing. They got you thinking that this Bible, it's kind of like a safety blanket. You can believe in this and that, but you got to deal with this reality we have. No, everything deals with this Bible. This Bible shows you how this system is going to close up. And you can see it closing now.
That's right.
People who claim they're atheists, they scratching their head now. But maybe we was wrong about that. Yeah, you was wrong. But you gonna look on cable news and see it. Everything this Bible talking about, the 400 years of slavery. You can go get any documentary book on slavery and run that across Deuteronomy 28 chapter. And you're gonna say, oh snap. That is what it's talking about. Look, that's it. That's it. So if you white, or so-called white, ask yourself one question: who's Esau in the Bible? They got you thinking there's one guy that went rogue. No, that's a nation of people.
That's right.
It tells you in Obadiah about Edom. The moves they made. I shall set my nest among the stars. That's space travel. Remember, a nest is a house, and the stars are out there, which means what? Space travel. So where did it start? With the Wright brothers. They built the airplane. Satan is giving them what? Ideas. Remember, these people came out of the caves. Now, how you come out of the caves to space travel? Satan is the one that's dealing with it.
Right.
That's what you got to understand. They got you thinking they smart and you stupid. No. Every time you see, like right now, here's a brother, Labraham. What am I looking at? A body that has a spirit in it. When you drop dead, the body like goes limp and the spirit leaves. It goes back to the spirit world to be judged and later on reassigned to another body. A man's seed and a woman's egg forms that shell that we call a body, and the spirit has to be put in there.
That's right.
That gives it life. When you meet a girl and something about her, I'm not talking about just the physical, something about her that you like. That's one spirit recognizing another spirit. When you walk down the street and some guy across the street, something about that guy, you can't stand him. You might even be tempted to go over the street, go across the street and start something. What is that? One spirit recognizing another spirit from the past. That's what you got to look at. Esau had an old saying, hey boy, don't eyeball me. Why? It tells you in Matthew 6, you can write it, it's in your notes, Matthew 6 from 20 to 22. The eyes are the window to the soul. So when you're looking at someone's eyes, you're looking at the real them. That's what you got to understand. That's why Easter don't want you looking them in the eye. Or they said another thing they said be hard about when you point. Don't point at me. We were spiritual people. And this was passed down from generation to generation, but nobody explained it to you. When you look a person in the eye, you really seeing them. Because you're looking at what? The spirit that's in them. Okay? I got sidetracked again. What was it?
17.
Yeah.
Reading out of Revelation chapter 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of their seed.
Now, here's what you gotta look at. The dragon to make war with the remnant of her seed. Now this is moving ahead. This is talking about Jacob's trouble. When you read the Bible, it travels over a long time period.
That's right.
Now, when it says the woman and the serpent was at war with each other, Mike, give me an example of that. Huh? No, give me an example of war between the serpent and the woman.
Esau and Jacob.
No, I mean that's come on, that's easy. It's easy. I mean, really. Let me give you an example. The civil rights. Remember the civil rights era? Yeah. What happened? Who was in charge? Esau. And fighting against who? Jacob. So who was egging Esau on? Satan. Esau gets his power from Satan. Somebody give me Revelations 13 and 4. Okay, go ahead.
Reading out of Revelation chapter 13, verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
Right, the beast is talking about man, Esau. And who gave him his power?
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
Right, Satan. You see that air conditioner? If I pull the plug out, what happens? It stops. What motivates Esau? Satan. Remember, he's a spirit, and he has to have a body to get you that's in a body. So what do the spirits do? They get in the body and they do something crazy to you. You can't go from the caves to space travel on your own. Something has to motivate you and drive you. When they made the airplane, talking about the Wright brothers, and it escalated into what? Space travel. Okay? You heard of Carnegie?
Family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what was he famous for?
Railroad.
And
Cats and coal.
explosives. But they give you the Nobel Peace Prize. Is that the way it was? Yeah. I'm sorry, not Carnegie, Nobel. That's what I wanted to say. Nobel. Oh, the Nobel Peace Prize is talking about peace. Yeah, but he made what? Explosives. Who does this? Esau. Everything you see Esau does, well, he got the car, he got the plane, he got this, he got that. He got it from who? Satan. Because Satan is going against who? Israel. Why? Look what happened to Satan because of Israel. He's mad. He's very mad. He was cast out of heaven down here, and he used to live forever and was given what? A time slot. It tells you that in Revelations 12 and 12, Satan had but a short time. Because everything is building up to what? The battle between Satan and Yahushua. Good versus evil. Okay, now, you finished that, right?
Yeah, 117.
Go ahead.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of the Most High, and have the testimony of Hamashiach Yahushua. That's it.
Okay, now, this is why Satan, this is how Satan got on this planet Earth. Now, when it talks, write this down. It talks about the war in heaven. These are the three scriptures you have to hit. Job 2 and 2. From there, you go to 1 Peter 5 and 8. From there, you go to Revelations 12, verses 7 to 17. That explains the war in heaven. Now, where's Satan at this point? He's on earth. Now, here's what you have to understand. He's the God of this earth. Now, I'm going to show you that. Give me, give me Luke, 4th chapter.
Okay.
Always keep it basic. You go into Daniel's, but if they don't understand Daniel's, you're going to confuse them. Like we used to say back in the days, those are milk scriptures and meat scriptures. Remember that?
Yeah. It still pertains.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, change.
Oh, yeah.
But you want 4 and 6.
Okay, let me set it up. This is where Yahushua was on a fast for 40 days. And the conversation takes place in the spirit world. He says it's taken to a high mountain. That's the spirit world. How do you know? From a high mountain, you can see distance. You can't see the future. That's how you know this is a spiritual conversation. He's being shown governments. And it's in order. Everything is up until what? The last government. You follow? So in other words, the Most High wrote this thing out from beginning to end. And Satan is in the spirit world. He's showing Yahushua, look, I can give you all this, just bow down to me. First of all, Yahushua is not bowing down to Satan. Yahushua is over Satan. But the fact is, on this part, he came as what? A lamb. So he has limited powers. See, you got to understand what you're reading. He had to go through this. Why? He was the sacrifice, like it tells you in Matthew 5:17. Okay? Go ahead.
Read out of Luke chapter 4, verse 6, right?
No, give me 5. I want 5.
4 and 5.
Yeah.
Read out of Luke chapter 4, verse 5. And the devil took him up into an high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
Right. So in other words, Satan in the spirit world took Christ, who was also in the spirit world, and showed him all the kingdoms that's gonna, or governments. Back then they were called kingdoms. You can think of them as governments as you get closer to our time period. You can have all this. You can be ruler over all that. Just bow down to me. Go ahead.
And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me.
Stop. That is delivered unto me from who?
From the Most High.
From the Most High. The Most High gave him power over what? The governments. The government is the highest point you can get in this system we have. Are not the governments over the churches?
Go ahead.
Exactly. When you open up a church, because Brooklyn, the first time I went to Brooklyn, I was shocked. One block had 7 churches. Why? Because you can make money off of that. Because once you got a church, you can get food, and you can get a paycheck and everything else, and you can play that off. That's why they all got Cadillacs and nice apartments. It's a license to print money, but you got to keep the people dumbfounded. But you got to face the music at the end. Where is that? A good scripture that shows you got to pay. Brother.
Pay the devil.
Yeah, where's a good scripture for that?
Revelation.
No. Jeremiah 23. You ain't got to go there. Write it down. All these preachers, they got to pay. Sabal, you had your hand up?
That's my ask a question.
Yeah.
Can we say the majority of
You got to lift your voice up.
started with the downfall of Adam?
Say again?
Can we say that Satan had began to become into authority was from the beginning of the downfall of Adam?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of course you can.
Because Adam was a man. This was his dominion.
What?
You're right.
That was it?
Okay. Yeah, no, because I know you have said it was we read right now in the book of Luke, but Adam was showing the outside, the beginning and the end.
Yeah, but right now I'm in Luke.
Yeah.
Okay. Read.
And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it. If thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine.
Right. And this covers everything. When you read about all these movie stars and rich people, don't they got to pay homage to the devil?
That's right.
Of course they do.
Continually.
Why? Because Satan is the top man down here. The Most High made it that way.
And everybody pointing up,
Right.
giving all their kisses to the sky.
Yeah.
They're not doing that to the Most High God of gods. They're
Right.
doing that to Satan.
Right. The God of this world,
That's
Satan.
right.
Satan. All your Jay-Z's and Beyonce's and all these other people, that's who they're giving homage to. Satan. Why? He controls everything.
That's right.
Everything. There's nothing down here he don't control. If you can play cards with the governments, how much power do you have? You have total power down here. You just can't kill off the Israelites. When we went through slavery, the power was given to Esau to do that to us. Because we was under punishment from the Most High. He turned his back on us. It tells you that in Lamentations 2 and 5.
Hosea 5.
Yeah. So when you read all this, you got to understand why things happen in your history. Punishment. Okay, when you see how negative our people act towards each other and to other nations, as a people, we're a joke on all levels. Even on Jake want to be a thug and a criminal. On a criminal level, criminals don't deal with Jakes. In the drug world, they don't deal with Jake. They deal with the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, all that. They know how to keep their mouth shut and they deal in brotherhood. And they don't put all their business out in the street. They open up bodegas, but they got a little something on the side. What Jay got? Nothing. He living in the projects with in the closet, got shoe boxes full of money. Everything he buying cash, and what happened? He get caught. The Most High told us that read Deuteronomy 28 slowly and start putting checklists next to certain scriptures. Somebody get me Deuteronomy 28:37. Give an example where we stand as a people. We're a joke. And don't need getting mad. It just confirms what the Bible's telling you. It confirms we the chosen people. As a nation, there's no nice way of putting it. We're a joke. All 12 tribes.
Read now the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead them.
Right. When you go to college and you get these other kids, oh, this is a friend of mine, so-and-so. Their parents take them on the side. They're from another country, yo, don't hang around those people. They ain't about nothing. You probably got here on a basketball scholarship or something else. Leave them alone. And no need getting mad. That's the curse that the Most High put on his chosen people. You gotta wear it with a badge of honor. Somebody get me Baruch 4:25.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is to come upon you from the Most High.
Say that again.
My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is to come upon you from the Most High.
Right. So when you look at everything failing and getting messed up, and you looking outright stupid, don't get mad. The Most High put that on his chosen people. That he put it on us.
That's right.
But don't worry, we got a kingdom coming. We just got to deal with this little pit stop. Go ahead. Go ahead, read.
For thy enemies have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction,
And,
shalt tread upon his neck.
right, so what's it telling you? You got to deal with it. So when you see a crackhead out there, you know when they be moving their head side to side, or like they got that fast walk, like they going late for a meeting, and they ain't got none, and they just bugging out, that's a curse that we got to deal with as a people. That might be you or someone in your family. It just confirms what? We them people in the pot. The so-called Jews, are they going through that? No, they ain't going through that. It tells you we got to depend on everybody for everything.
Right.
Who do they depend on? Nobody. They got everything wrapped up. They got it to the point where they change their name and make sure they got everything wrapped up. So you know this Bible's not talking about them. A little short side thing. According to them, they came back to Jerusalem in 1948. Now in the Bible, how's Israel getting back to Jerusalem? Yahweh Shai is going to be there. It tells you that. I must have missed that on the documentary. Where did they go anyway as a nation of people on ships in the bondage? Nowhere. The only time they went as a nation in ships was where? After World War II, coming here. Okay, and they got kicked out of Europe. The first place they was going to send them was where? Cuba. Cuba said, nah, we don't want these people. What are you, nuts? Who opened the door for them to get into Jerusalem? The Rothschild family. All that, oh, we got Jews scattered all across the earth. Yeah. You go to Luke, the 21st chapter, from 21 to 24. It's telling you the Most High scattered us when Jerusalem fell. They came and took our artwork, our documents, everything, and took us. That's how we got to the four corners of the earth. That's one time. The second time that happened was what? During slavery. We wound up where? In the Caribbean. They had breeding farms. They was breeding us like dogs and selling us to the other nations. Free labor. That's in the book of Joel. Read that. It tells you. The book of Joel, chapter 3. That's how we got. When the Most High said all nations, people just think of America. No. All nations took part because it tells you that he scattered us among the nations of the earth. That's why it says he destroyed Israel and church. They were destroyed. There's only spiritual Israel. No. No. It's not just spiritual Israelites. Talking about the actual people. He scattered us. How else do you know that? He has to gather us back. That's in Isaiah 66, verses 20 to 21. So he's going to gather us from all nations of the earth. And after he scattered us, it only fits who? Us. We're those people. Okay? And it's getting out there. It's bigger than you think. You watch YouTube and TikTok and everything, you got white people saying that black people are the Jews in the Bible. Not that you need their validation, but the fact is they come in the grips. That's what all the hostility is between us and them. Because that light is coming on. Oh, snap. You mean, yeah, that's right. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And they say, well, how are we going under them? You losing your power. That's how you going under them. Okay, I'm going to get sidetracked. Did you get 6? Huh?
I'm at Deuteronomy 28, 37 already.
Oh,
Mike read that.
okay, you read that.
Yeah,
Deuteronomy
I read,
20. Huh?
I read Baruch.
He read Baruch.
Okay, that and you read Baruch.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can go back to
Revelation.
Revelations. No, Luke.
Luke. War.
Luke 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
I got sidetracked, sorry, but you got to clarify it.
Yeah, I read 6.
Okay, now, that's showing you that this conversation was on a spiritual level. The Most High gave Satan power. Total power over this planet Earth. There were rules and regulations, but he has total power down here. He's the God of this earth. Now we're going to prove that. Another place you want to go, 2 Corinthians 4, verses 3 and 4.
Read out of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the power of this world.
Stop. Why does it say the power of this world? Who's that talking about? Satan. How do you know? He was kicked out of heaven and brought down here on this planet Earth, him and his angels, which were innumerable. Those are spirits. They get in people and create what? Craziness. Okay, you heard about the guy that went crazy in what's that, Taiwan?
Yeah.
And killed 34 children? Those are spirits.
Okay.
Those are spirits. And all the shootings you have here in this country, you're getting them Edomites, those are spirits. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I have no say over what goes on. That's the Most High. That's his department. That's going to happen in our neighborhoods. You're going to have Edomites coming in our neighborhoods lighting up. Because our people are asleep. Our people are asleep. Here it is. We in Brooklyn. We got all these white people running around. And guess what? You never see them at nighttime. They in their apartment getting high or whatever. But the fact is, you in your apartment trapped, living in the ghetto. Why? Because you lost everything out in the suburbs. That's why they're doing that.
That's right.
You're looking at, oh, we want to move in the city where we got we got easy transportation. No. You don't leave a house with a backyard and a swimming pool to go pay the same rent living in the ghetto where you got black people outside right now blasting music that you don't want to hear, but you got to live among them.
It's a silent coup, a silent war.
Right, and you see more and more of them each day. And basically what you're looking at, functional drug addicts. Because a lot of jobs, they lower the standards when they take drug tests. How do you lower the standards for a drug test? Oh, well, if you take marijuana, first of all, you out there smoking weed, you stupid. It ain't like back in the day where it was natural. Everything right now has fentanyl in it. Fentanyl is designed to get you hooked. The Chinese have brought fentanyl to the cartels.
That's right.
They put, let's say me and this brother here, we drug dealers. I got 80% and he got 20% product. His 20% power and mine is 80%. I'm gonna make more money than him. So he gets some fentanyl, put it in his 20%. His 20% comes like 85, 90%. And he makes more money. That's what fentanyl does. Now, you saw the one where they have Skittles?
Yeah, it's a new one.
Now, you got candy with fentanyl in it. And what did they say? It was aimed at the children. Not black children, white children. White children. Because they're the biggest drug addicts in this country right now.
That's right.
Clear across the board. Why? The Most High says in what in Obadiah? I shall make you small among the heathen. Which means what? They dying out. They know this. They in their world, they're dying out. And the Most High gonna wake up the Israelites right under them. That's in Psalms 50, 19 and 21. It's telling you that. Everything is going against them. The mixed marriage, that's bringing their numbers down. They don't have a lot of children, they have what? Sunscreen. You have to put sunscreen on. That stuff is toxic. That affects them. What else affects them? Economics. That affects them. And then here come drugs. That gets the ones that's supposed to be functional. You're a drug addict. Everything is working against them.
And abortion.
And abortion. Good, I'm glad you brought that up. Why you think oh no, we're not going to have any more abortions? Why? Because you're running out of people. When you go in give me Revelation 6 and 4. I'm going to get back because, you know. Show you how the Most High gets rid of these people. They don't even see it.
Now, Revelations, chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red,
Right, this is talking about Esau.
and the power was given to him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth.
Now, when you go to Genesis 27 from verses 38, Mike, give me Genesis 27. You're going to go from verse 38 to 41. Now, when you get this under your belt, you understand how the Most High set everything in order. Read.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
Stop. He's going to get power over this whole planet Earth. That's a future prophecy. That started where? With the Greeks. Go ahead.
And of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live.
Stop. And that's and that's how he's going to maintain that power. He was blessed with the sword. Now I seen the guy on YouTube trying to break the scripture down and got it all wrong. He got some Arabian sword. You see, it's the sword and how it cuts, and that shows you that the Arabs are the Edomites. Now where you got that from? The word sword just means weapon.
Right.
That's all it means. Okay, when he took down Gad, people say, oh, it was a gun. It was more than a gun because the so-called Indians had guns.
Right.
It was the Gatling gun. Okay, that was the deal breaker. And then as you go further up, in Revelations, the 6th chapter, the real deal breaker sword was what? The atomic bomb. Okay? Sword means weapon. That's what it's talking about. It don't mean a sword that you cut things with. It means weapon. They was blessed with the weapon. Think about it. All these weapons they have, these missiles that shoot up, and then you have individual missiles shooting out of there. That's not Jake's specialty. Jake did what? The stoplight, refrigeration, and all that other stuff. Anything with war, that's not Jake. He wasn't blessed. That's not his criteria. The Most High set the criteria. Okay, we wasn't doing that. Building, designing weapons and all that. That's
Chemical
Esau.
warfare.
Yeah, chemical warfare. That ain't Israel. Everything else we invented. The reason why they got the patent, why? Because we was in slavery.
That's right.
That's part of Deuteronomy 28 also. You're going to come up with the ideas, but you're not going to benefit from it. Other words, the frustration we deal with is what the frustration the Most High deal with. I made y'all the chosen people. I'm showing the other nations that you above them, but you going to worship all these gods in front of me. What did we get? What we got right now. When you ask yourself, what did we get? Open the window and look out. That's what he gave us. You got being serenaded on the Sabbath with nonsense. Where was it?
I was on 4th. Revelation 6 and 4, my favorite.
Go, oh yeah, okay.
And they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword.
Right, this great sword was what? The atomic bomb. And when it says they shall kill one another, what's that talking about? World War I, World War II. You had Esau killing Esau. And then when you want to go back, I should make thee small among the heathen. That's how he's doing it. Because once you start killing the males, you wiping that nation out. Why? Because the man carries the seed. World War II, who was fighting? The Italians and the Germans and the Japanese were fighting who? The British, the Americans, and the French. Or you can put the Italians with the Germans. These were who? White people killing white people. And how did the Most High get a laugh out of that one? Jake wasn't allowed in the military. That's how he's saving Israel. He loves Israel. And at the same time, he wants you here to get your punishment. But the Most High, he's a stickler for rules and regulations. He loves Israel. You ain't getting a free pass. You got to pay. Okay? Now that's it on that. Now go back to where you was before.
Revelation 12. Or Luke 4.
Luke? No, you did Luke.
Revelation is 12.
We did Luke 4, 5, and 6. Give me 2 Corinthians 4.
That's where I was.
Yeah, 3 and 4. In whom the God of this world.
Yeah, I got it. We read it.
Read 3 again, and then
Okay.
4.
Read out of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them that believe not.
What don't they believe? They don't believe in Christ. Do that one. in whom the God of this world, which is Satan, how do you know? He was given power over everything.
In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not,
Yeah.
lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them.
Right. They don't believe in Christ. Why? Their mind is blinded by who? Satan. All the nice flashy things. Oh, I don't have time to believe in that Christ thing. I got a good job. I got this and that. Really? What kind? Think about all the people you know with good jobs. What they doing now? They sweat. They sweat. Most of your billionaires have left this country, believe it or not. What everybody else doing? Front. Go down to Atlanta, look at the black people down there. They got this thing now where they hand you a card that tells you all their yeah. Oh, I'm so and so, I'm this and that. Then you find out they're waiting for that check at the first of the month. When Esau breathes life into their EBT card, but they front with fancy clothes. Because our people, what? They front. What? We ain't got none. Here's what you got to understand when you're looking at black people trying to floss. They have nothing and too proud to say it and too stupid to understand why they don't have anything. Asians come in the neighborhood, a one-bedroom apartment, you got 6 of them in there. They work and they save, and in a 5-year plan, they got a store. And here's the crazy part. Let's say a nail shop. You got these black women, they do nails. The black women are going to stop going to that sister and go deal with them Koreans who don't even like them. You saw the black woman that got beat up in the nails a while back. They don't even like you. They talking their language about you while you in there. And they taking your money. Where's that? Deuteronomy 28. That's enough. Everything in Deuteronomy 28 is reality. Is reality. Let's say you open up a restaurant. You got nice food, it's reasonable, this, that, and the other. They're not going to your restaurant. They're going to go to the Chinese guy. I remember when I was a kid, not really, when I say kid, I'm talking about like freshman in high school. There was this Chinese restaurant. Now, you know when you have to clean the chicken, they take the knife and they, all that. They don't really do all that. But you know what it was? When you look in the back of the restaurant, it was like a back alleyway. The chicken was actually on the ground, and she was cutting it like that. Not on the cutting board, on the ground. And when you look back there, you can see it. Other words, your food is on the ground and she's cutting it. What do? They just throw it in the grease. And they fry it. And you don't see anything. The chicken that they get, that's like weeks before it spoils. Because once you fry it, you don't see anything. When you see fish, I did a show about that. That was decades ago. We got some fish from it was a fish market on 125th Street. When you open it, you can see what tumors, sores, and everything. You know what they do? Batter it and fry it. When you buy fish, in case you don't know, the fish that's on top, that's what they want you to buy. That's old. That's old. You gotta dig down, and the fish down there, that's the fresh fish. And when you look at the fish, when you look at the eyes, it looks brownish and gray and all that. That fish is sick and it's old. Now, when you get fish, it's supposed to be clear. Okay, that's how you know you got good fish, but they put that underneath. And these same people in there, they know what they do. They know what they do. They got that steamer where they steam the clam. You're not supposed to eat clams. It tells you that in Leviticus. But they're making what? They're making a fortune off it. Like he read in Deuteronomy 28:37. It was an astonishment and a proverb. They laugh all the way home in their nice house. They send their kids in nice schools. Why? Selling you that right. Not just when I say you, I'm talking about me too. I used to buy that all the time. When your pockets is low, you go get you some chicken wings and fried rice. Hope you ain't gotta pick nothing out the rice. That's part of the curse. Shows you. We did the Most High wrong. He showed us what wrong really is. And we still getting a break. It could have been worse. Remember, Satan wanted to kill us. Look what kind of deal he got. That's that love the Most High has for us. So don't think, oh, he don't care nothing about us. Trust me, you know who you dealing with? What he could have did? He can kill you, then get you in the spirit world when you come there. So we getting off easy. Okay, now. Where were we?
On 2 Corinthians 4 and 4.
Okay, we did that.
Yeah, we did that.
Okay, now, one more thing I want you to get. Give me John 14 and 30. We're showing you that what? Satan is the God of this world. We showed you there was a war in heaven. Satan was kicked out of heaven down on this earth. Down here, he became the God of this earth. What?
Ready? Reading out of John chapter 14, verse 30. Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh, and has nothing in me.
Who's speaking?
Yahushua.
Right. Christ is speaking. Read that again.
Out of John chapter 14, verse 30. Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh, and have nothing in me.
Now, here's what I want. Now, Satan runs governments. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. You know how when churches want to open up, they got to go in the 501c3? Who controls that? The government. In every church, you have to have an American flag. You know that?
Okay.
And it has to have the yellow fringes, which means
Okay.
that means the law. Martial law, military law. Military jurisdiction. So when you sign that contract on the 501(c)(3), that's when you can open up your church and you get paid. The government give you a certain amount of money. They give you boxes of free food you can give to the people. Other words, you can be big will to your people and get paid. They can get anything under the sun, but you gotta follow guidelines. You can't talk against the government. You try and wake the people up, oh, we Israelites. You know what they gonna do? First of all, they have people come in your churches and monitor what you do. You violate that, you know what they gonna do to you? Who they gonna send after you? The IRS. Because it's all about money. All that money you're getting, you're gonna have to pay it back. Okay, on the 501c3, you gotta give the government a list of everybody in your church, all they 1040 forms. You gotta give them that. They gotta know who and how many people are in each church. But once you violate that law, they're gonna come after your parishioners, because you know they write checks and they write it off. That means they are gonna have to pay back everything they wrote off, along with you. And by the way, they can actually take your church from you. The actual church can be confiscated. See? And when you get a chance, look up something called clergy response team. These are people trained by the government in theology. So when you have martial law and people start acting up, their job is to calm the people down. They got them for all nationalities. Do they have Israelites mixed up in there? Yeah. You Israelite, what you doing with 501c3? Oh, we got to play the system. How you gonna play Satan? You ain't playing some dumb Edomite. Satan running that cracker. And the Most High told you, first of all, your job is to teach the people. That's it. All these little side trips. Well, we can get this and we can get that. No. Teach the people. I got you. You're being punished, but I still got you. That's what the Most High is showing you. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to show you. That all these governments is run by who? Satan. I'm gonna show you how witchcraft is in all these governments. Okay. Give me let's start with the Babylonian Empire. Give me Daniel the 4th chapter, verses 6 through 8. There's only a few more.
We have the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 6. Therefore I made a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon.
Stop. When it says the wise men, everyone says, oh, the wise men. That means what?
Counselors.
What does a wise man mean? You're going to go into the Bible. Read. Go ahead.
Wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dream.
Now, when it says a wise man can make interpretation of the dream, that takes it to a whole nother level. That's dealing what? On a spiritual level. Okay? Now, let me give you an example. When the wise men were sent by Herod to find out where the baby Christ was, Mike, fill in that story. Lift your voice up.
They came to Jerusalem
Right.
looking for the baby that was born.
Right, Jesus. Go ahead.
Right. And Herod heard about them and he bring them in and tell them, listen, you go here, search, tell me where you're going, come back and give me the information.
Right.
He wanna serve him too.
Right. Want to kill him.
But he said that way, but
Okay. No, you know what he meant.
yeah.
Right. And it shows you what? He was over a government.
Right.
And the Spirit showed him what? This guy's going to bring your government down. See, this is what they don't teach you in church.
Right.
Okay? Let's say I'm Harry. Now, how would I know a baby Christ is born? The spirits are talking to me. Where these spirits coming from? Satan. Why? Because he's over government.
Right.
That's what they don't teach you in church. Because if all governments are run by Satan, what about the government we got now? It's run by who? Satan. That's what they can tell you. Now, also in the story, it tells you what? As they was walking, they seen the star, and they was looking at the star and following it. Who been down south? Don't they got billions of stars out there?
Yes.
Now, when you're looking out there, how you gonna find a house?
Right.
Think about it. So, in other words, something was illuminated that only they can see. Now, how do you know that? Oh, Mike, you just reaching. No. Let's think for a second. If it was so bright where everybody could see, wouldn't everybody go over there and see what's going on? And they're not going to have the future savior of the planet in dire straits like that. So obviously only those wise men can see what it was that was illuminated, and it said it stopped over the house.
Right. It's moving.
Right, so you talking about a bright star stops over a house and people don't run around and see what's going on? Only they can see it.
Right.
When it says wise men, it's showing you what? Everything takes place on a spiritual level. You follow? That's what it means when it says wise. On a spiritual level. Go ahead, read.
Then came in the magicians and astrologers, the Chaldeans and the soothsayers.
Now, he's stacking the deck with who? Everyone that's what? Spiritual. Name them people who showed up.
Then came in the magicians
Right.
The astrologers,
Right?
the
Stop.
Chaldeans.
The astrologers do what? They look up at the sky and they can read the sky. You have to be spiritual to do that. Okay, did the Most High open that up to us? No. That wasn't open up to us. Okay, we're being punished. Because when you can see the future, the Most High don't want you to see the future. You got your hands full with the punishment He got for you. You got to put all this, like it's like a formula. You got to put all this in the formula. Who else did He call?
The Chaldeans,
Yeah.
and the soothsayers.
Soothsayers.
And I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof.
Why? Because that's not natural. If I tell you I had a dream, how are you going to tell me what the dream was about?
Right.
Unless you were dealing with who? The devil. Satan. In the spirit world, that's nothing for them. So what's it showing you? These are government people dealing with what? The spirit world.
That's right.
Why? Because Satan is running things. That's what it tells you that in Luke the 4th chapter.
Good.
God, I'm going to use that term so people understand. God gave Satan the power over all and every government. It tells you that. It says all governments in order until this place what? Crashes. That stuff with Putin and all that, those are spirits. Spirits got a white boy in Russia who has his finger on the trigger, threatening the white boys over here who got their finger on the trigger. And they gonna fight each other, and that's when Christ gonna come to deliver the remnant of Israel. That's what 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, from the 16th verse on down is all about. This takes place in the middle of a war. And the war is building up right now. Right now is the time for you to hit 2nd Ezra, the 11th chapter, from verses 54 to 64. That's on repentance. We finished our Day of Atonement. But the rest of y'all in Israel who ain't up on that, pick every day to pray, put all your sins, oh, I did this, get it in order and ask the Most High to forgive you. Well, you're going to see killing like you never seen killing before. Why? The spirits. Most High going to let all these evil spirits get in people. They going to start killing, stabbing, and shooting. And the only one's going to be safe is the Most High got the righteous spirits protecting them. So when you go outside and nothing happens to you, don't think, oh, you that bad guy. No. It's not time for you yet, or the Most High got righteous spirits around you protecting you. Now, to enhance that, start repenting now. Avoid the rush. Okay? Now, let me see, that's what empire was that? Give me Daniel 4:28 to 33.
Now the book of Daniel 4,
You're almost done.
chapter 28. Read chapter 4, verse 28. All this came unto the king Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power, and for the honor of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Right. This is the ruler of a nation. Got high-minded, and the Most High stepped to him. I'm the one running things. This is my show, not yours. And put him in his place. Turn him into a beast, which means what? High up in that government, they dealing on the spirit world. Where we are in America right now, don't think they don't have excuse me, have contact with the spirit world. They do. You can't have all this power that you see is more than just aircraft carriers and jets and all that. Satan is running this thing. Most High is the one that's overseeing everything, but Satan is running this. He got this nation ready to fight with that nation. Why? He only had but a short time and he's finished.
United Nations.
So he gonna take out as many people as he can. Not to get sidetracked. For those of you who watch TikTok, you see how bad P. Diddy looks now? He was living high on the hog at one point. Excuse the analogy. But guess what? He don't look too good right now. A lot of these people that are up there, Satan want his due. And they gonna get jacked up. That whole rap world is falling apart. Where the rappers at now? They ain't making no more money. Everything you see that's power and grandeur is coming down. Everything. The sports, you look at the baseball games, is it the same? No. When they show you the stadiums, most of your seats are empty. Look at sports. It's dead. Basketball, where's the next Michael Jordan coming from? You can't see it. There's nothing there. Everything in this system is dead. It's just they control the media. You don't see it. The panic level slows down through the media. Everything is finished. The token booth clerks, where are they? Finished. You can use your cell phone to pay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what kind of nonsense is that? See what I'm saying? Okay, let's finish this up. Give me Exodus 23:13. When you read about the Greeks and the Romans, was the Most High with that? No, I could keep telling you. I'm sorry, like it shows you in this Bible. Satan is running things.
We had Exodus chapter 23, verse 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other powers, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth.
Right. So these are the different gods, right? Most I don't even want their names mentioned. Now let's speed the clock up to today. What's the most popular company on this planet now? It's Nike. That's the name of a Greek god. Okay, remember the Mo Buick Electras? That was the name of a Greek god. The names of Greek gods is in everything when you read about the Romans and you read about the Greek Empire. They made up names and made the people pray to them. Everything you wanted, you had to pray to a different god. You want fertility? There was a goddess for that. They had a male and female. Okay, give me Exodus 20, verse 4 and 5. Then we're going to deal with the Romans and the Egyptians. Then we're going to wrap it up.
Out of Exodus chapter 20, verse 5. 20, verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High, thy power, am a jealous power.
Now, what? That was it? Now, what?
Visiting the iniquity to the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Right, so it's telling you what? You're not supposed to bow down to all these different gods. And we just read in Exodus 23:13, he don't even want the names mentioned. But when you see the Greek Empire, it was nothing but gods. Gods, everything. The Greeks and the Romans. Okay, give me Matthews 2. I'm gonna read, it's the Roman, covers the Roman 1 through 7.
Got the book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 1. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem,
Oh, we should have did this one earlier, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east.
Right. Who saw it? It had soothsayers and stargazers and prognosticators? Yeah, people who can read the heavens. And what was it saying? You finished. Why you think they killed the firstborn of the Egyptians? I mean, not the Egyptians, of Israel. They were slaughtering them. Why? They were trying to get rid of. Once they wanted to get rid of Christ, and once they wanted to get rid of Moses. When you read in the book of Maccabees, first Maccabees, they were hanging babies by the necks. Okay? All that has a price tag. Why was they doing that? They were trying to get rid of the opposition. This was spiritual warfare. Go ahead.
For I have seen his star in the east, and I've come to worship him. When King Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Hamashiach should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judea, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared.
Now, when it says wise men, keep remembering that. Wise men meant they dealt on a spiritual level.
That's right.
Okay? Even in the old mob movies, when they call somebody a wise guy, that means they understand the inner working of things. Okay, but that's on a simple level,
Right.
That a criminal element. But on the spiritual, when it says anything wise, it means it was dealt on a spiritual level. Go ahead.
That was 7.
That was seven?
Yeah.
Okay. They're showing you what? At the end of the story, how did they find Christ? A star. And they was following it. And the people look at all the bright stars. There wasn't them stars up there. It was something that was bright that they follow that only they can see. Like I said, when you use common sense. It couldn't have been something bright that everybody could see because everybody would have went over there to find out what's that. Only these wise men were able to see that. And it said it stopped over the house. Now, how's something going to stop over the house and it's going to be on the quiet? It don't work like that. Okay? Now, what else I want to get? Let's get Egypt. Give me Exodus 7, verses 10 and 12. Then I'm going to get America and we're going to wrap it up with that.
Read out the book of Exodus. Chapter 7, verse 10.
Go.
And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Most High had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servant, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments.
Slow. Right.
Then Pharaoh called the wise men and the
Wait, no,
sorcerers.
read that again, but slower.
Then Pharaoh also called the wise men
They didn't go with the wise men. In other words, these spiritual guys. Go ahead.
and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents.
Stop. We're dealing with the government here. Now, these guys, they work in the government high up. They had staffs. They threw them down, and what happened to them? Read.
But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods.
Right. They threw the rods on the ground, and they became serpents. Aaron threw his rod on the ground and ate up those serpents. Go ahead.
And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as the Most High had said.
That's it.
Yeah.
But what you got to understand, these men took rods, which was wooden staff, and threw it on the ground, and it turned into serpents. All this was done behind closed doors, of course. And then, because remember, Moses and Aaron had to meet with the leaders of Egypt. And then they put theirs down because the Most High gave them power. And his serpent ate up their serpents. Now, if you don't understand what the Bible, how the Bible deals, and you saw something like that, you need a straitjacket. But that was nothing to them. Nobody got bent out of shape. Why? Because they was dealing on a spiritual level. Who gave them power? Satan. That's what this class was about. Satan runs these governments. One more. When you think of that building, the Pentagon, right? It's a 5-sided figure. And you'll get a chance to draw a 5-sided figure. Then you put horns on that. That pentagon becomes a pentagram. Okay? That's Satanism.
Huh.
The United States has 50 stars on it. And each star is what? A pentagram. Now some people, oh, you reaching. This ain't the most wicked place on the planet Earth. When it talks about they was drunken with the blood of the saints, what do you think that was talking about? One of the places. Here. Here. Where's a book of Israel going to be delivered from? Here. Okay? The church system. What was that based on? Witchcraft and lies. You follow? So that basically covers what I wanted to cover. Because with this, what you got to do, it's like a steak. You got to cut small pieces. You're showing that the government is run by Satan. Not only that, you have to understand how spirits work. Now, some of y'all in here in camps, I want you to try this. When you go home, right, I want you to read Ezekiel 7, 1 to 16. Then you read Ezekiel 9, verses 2 to 11. You understand about the war in heaven. Satan was kicked out of heaven and put on this planet Earth. Him and all his angels, which are what? Demons. Because these angels on the left side, they're demons. When you read Ezekiel 7, the Most High talks about how he gets so mad that he's going to let these demons loose, and there's going to be killing and rampage and everything. That's right now. Those of you who have sisters, wives, and girlfriends, when they come out to the parking lot and they see a van, don't go in that parking lot. Don't go in there. I sent you that text on that, and I sent some of y'all that I got your numbers. They got this thing now where they put cloths near the handle, where they put it on the car, and then people take it and throw it off the car. There's chloroform on that. They get them drowsy, they're snatching them up. They're snatching up our people. These women running around all hours of the night getting snatched up out here.
That's right.
Beaten, raped, everything. Why? Because the Most High, if you're not part of the, I don't want to give it away. When you read in Ezekiel 9, we'll have time for that? I don't know if I have time. Let me try. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Get Ezekiel 7 real quick. Because we got once you got the foundation of where Satan was kicked out of heaven and down here and controls everything down here. Okay? And his time is running out, so he gonna have his demons get in people and wreak all kind of havoc down here. Get Ezekiel 7 quick.
Okay.
Start from the first verse.
Read out Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the other one came unto me, saying, Also, thou son of man, thus said the power unto the land of Israel. The end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy works, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. And mine eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee. And thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Adonai.
Right, so what's the Most High telling you? That's it. You want to play? I'm going to show you how things are done. Go ahead.
And my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thy abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Adonai.
Now, why did you say in the midst of thee? Because you have all these people not paying attention. Most High gonna let these demons get you. What do they do? One group against another group. Now I'm gonna skip to 9 because as you read on, you're gonna get it. The Most High is gonna wreak total havoc where we are. Now I'm gonna show you how the Most High works, and it's all spiritual. Give me 9.
And mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways.
No, you got Ezekiel 9.
Chapter 9? I'll
Yeah.
let you in verse 9.
No.
Okay.
Ezekiel 9, start the second verse.
Read out of Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 2. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth towards the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand.
These are talking about angels. It clarifies it as you read on.
And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side.
Which is what?
Correct.
That's right, it's an angel. That's an angel. And why did you have the inkhorn as you read on and explain?
And they went in and stood behind the brazen altar. And the glory of the Most High of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side.
Let's show you talking about angels, because they, like I say, they got to keep records. Right.
And the other one said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sighed and that cried for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Now, this clarifies, it's talking about who? An angel. How you going to put, a regular guy going to put a mark on your forehead? Now, why was the mark put on the forehead? So them death angels will what? Leave you alone.
Passover.
Like it shows you in Exodus 12 and 12 with the Passover. Okay, see, everything is spiritual.
Right.
When you go outside, you got some knucklehead with the loud music and he bugging out, he like this and everything. He got spirits on him. Be observant. Like with me, like I go like to the pharmacy, and they have a guy. He's homeless. He holds the door for the people in McDonald's to get change. He got no shirt on. He looks like he been through hell, and he's yelling and screaming at the top of his lungs. He has demons. If you can't relate to that, we don't have time to go for it, but write it down. You go to Mark, Mark the 8th chapter. What's the matter?
I think it's Mark. You're talking about with the demons going to the
Yeah.
swine? I think it's Mark.
Yeah. Okay, the 8th chapter, and it tells you what? Spirits. Those are spirits. When you look at crackheads, they got spirits in them.
Right.
Okay, the term pharmacy comes from the word pharmakia, alchemist, chemicals that alters your state. When you drink, don't they call it wine and spirits? Because when you drink, you open the spirit. You see people when they drink, they think they Bruce Lee. They want to fight everybody. And if you're dealing with someone with spirits, you better be careful. They'll read you your whole card. So, how he know about me? I don't know if you're dealing with spirits, knucklehead. Everything out there is spirit. You see a woman leave the house with a super micro mini skirt, where she bend over to pick up something, the mystery is gone. Why would she do that? Spirit. When you go to the nightclub back in the days, or some of you last week, when they play all that music, and you start dancing and you feeling this and that and everything, plus they got all the liquor in there, those are spirits. That's why you feel like dancing. You walking up to these women, hey honey, that ain't you, those are spirits. That's what you gotta understand. This is a spiritual battle. To make it easier, think of them puppet shows where they got the guy with his hand in the glove doing that. That's what man is. I just say I drop dead right now. I'm like this. The spirit left. You got something you got to bury. Okay, what makes the person? The spirit that's in them. When you look at them old things of Michael Jordan and everything, why was he better than everybody else? Besides, he practiced more. He had a certain spirit in him. Kobe Bryant had a certain spirit in him. Okay. I seen this guy in real life one time, Miles Davis. That's a big dude. And he looked like the type of guy you don't want to play with. He was wearing this bad leather suit. I should do messenger work. I seen him in Central Park. I didn't say nothing to him. He had that look that you better not say nothing to him. So you just walk past him. When he played, he had a certain spirit. It tells you that with David when he was playing the harp. Right? A spirit goes into you with music and everything else. Okay, like right now, we wrapping up the class and now they turning down the music. What is that? Spirits. The spirits.
Turn it off.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wrapping it up and now the music stops. That's the spirits. Demons know what's going on. Why? They're in leagues with who? Satan. Let me get that real quick. I think we got it already. Revelations 13 and 4. You got that already, right?
No,
You sure?
I didn't.
Yeah, we read that.
You ready?
Yeah, but we can close up on that.
All right. We had the book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 4. They was just flipping the DVD. 13 and 4. And they, we did. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
Right, the beast is talking about man. Beast has different meanings. When you go to Daniel's, they was talking about empires, which were what? Still men. Okay? And they got locked in the house with Satan. Like we showed you with the different empires, they were dealing in what? Witchcraft. Okay? So that covers everything. But when I say draw the pentagram, then draw them horns connected to it. It'll come to a pentagon. It turns into a pentagram.
Remember, if you just trace out a star like the ones they used to give you if you was good in school, if you trace that out, inside that is a pentagram. And you flip it up, and that's the head of Baphomet.
Right.
Okay, yeah, it's satanic.
So I hope y'all learned something with that. I'm going to say shalom from the house of David. 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn, between Chauncey and Bainbridge Street. You're going to see the big sign, House of David. Right across the street, you got them same Negroes with the loud music.
Our Sabbath service now starting at 6:30. Set up the prayers 6:30 Friday night. Class start promptly between 7 and 7:30. Our noon service Saturday starts 12 p.m. on Saturdays at HODC. If you would love you to help support our ministry at HODC Camp New York, that's our cash app. Help support the ministry. This is Micah Alaba. I'm Karada Salabaran. Shalom.
Shalom.
Hit it. Push finish.
What's the right one?
Finish, push finish. You win? Finish?
Yeah. That's
Okay, that's it. I'll take care of it after that. So what's your class gonna be? I'll put it, how life works, is that it?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, no, I'm not can't be without, it's your class.
Man, straight off and off. Right
If you
there.
push finish, it's on.
I hope you all learn something.
Yeah, but every time you teach, you learn. So it don't matter.
Before you blow, come and look at it.
Yeah. Oh,
You know?
yeah, we good.
Okay.
We good. As long as you took it, as long as you don't see us, you know it's off, okay? All right. I mean,
That was live?
yeah, it was live. I told you it was live. Facebook Live. Imagine upon your Hakodam. Stand, turn, and face Jerusalem. Face the east. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May the Most High lift up the light of His countenance upon you and give you peace. The Most High lift up the light of His countenance unto you and be gracious unto you. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yabaraki Yahweh.
Yabaraki Yahweh.
Waya Shemarka.
Shemarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ben Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Al Yaka.
Yaka.
Waya Khanka.
Chanka.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ben Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Al Yaka. Waya Shemlaka. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushua. Ram Gadal. Al Shadja. Namallah. Namalakia. Adawan. Adawanium. Shema'ayim. Wabarak. Warapah. Maya Ka'ala. Barak. Maya Ka'ala. Rapah. Maya Ka'ala. Shema'al. Shem Ya'ala. Barak. Shem Ya'ala. Rapah. Shem Ya'ala. Shema'al. Yahweh. Barak. Yahweh. Rapah. Yahweh. Shema'al. Awar. Barak. War. Rapah. Awar. Shema'ayim. Maya Ka'alaba. Barak. Maya Ka'alaba. Rapah. Maya Ka'alaba. Shema'ayim. Karada Salabrayim. Barak. Karada Salabrayim. Rapah. Karada Salabrayim. Ba'ashem. Yahushua. Wada. Demiyad. Oman. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushua. Shemai. Panawa. God. La. Maya Ka'ala. Walahayim. La. Shema'ayim. Kol. Bunyam. Yasha'ala. Barak. Kol. Bunyam. Yasha'ala. Shema'ayim. Haviyat Sapari. Barak. Haviyat Sapari. Paul. Haviyat Sapari. Ba'ashem. Yahushua. Wada. Demiyad. Man. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushua. Barak. Makolno. Washadano. Wada. Demiyad. Aman. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushua. Barak Lanawa. Wayashala. Haviyat Sapari.
Shema, Shema, Yeshua, Yeshua, Yahweh, Yahweh, Elohayinawa, Yahweh, Yahweh, Shema,
Hallelujah. 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 Anything, Mike? Anything?
No, haven't been enough.
The Sabbath, as always, the Sabbath continues tomorrow. We know it. They're gonna definitely mention it about tabernacles tomorrow. But today was supposed to be the deadline for, or yesterday was supposed to be the deadline for your funds. But come to, let's speak to Ash, see what's happening, transportation and whatever else you might need. Remember, tithes and offerings always good today. It's always good to see brothers. It's always good to see brothers and sisters, especially bringing in the Shabbat. It's always good. Good to see you, brothers. You got anything in war?
No, man, that's it, friend.
Sabah? Yahweh?
I'm good.
Akim. Yahaviyat Dua. Maya. Alanawa. Yahweh. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shalanawa. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shalanawa. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shalanawa. Imagine. Alright? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shalanawa. Kumya Shalom. Kumya Shalom. Kumya Shalom. Yazamata, Zara, Asha Shabbat Shalom. Alright. All praises. Let me see. Share broadcast.
Where you go?
I think you went to cousin. Oh, yeah, come right back. You gotta go.
Oh, I heard that. I heard that.
Did you find